I'm going to take these coins and I'm going to make them disappear. I could not have dropped them in because they are resting underneath that little piece of cork.
In this video, I will reveal Eric Mead's coins and cylinder trick that fooled Penn and Teller. Here's a quick recap of the performance. Eric invites Penn and Teller onto the stage and introduces 5 props: a cylinder, 4 coins, a sliced cork, a small wooden platform, and a wand. He openly displays the coins and places the sliced cork on top of the platform. To establish that the cylinder is empty, he runs the wand straight through it and even hands it out for inspection. Once the cylinder is returned, he places it directly over the cork. He then vanishes the first coin, claiming it has traveled inside the cylinder. He immediately follows this by making a second coin disappear, again explaining that it has teleported inside. Anticipating suspicion, Eric addresses the idea that the coins could be hidden in his hand. To counter this, he picks up another coin and appears to push it straight through the top of his hand, where it visibly shows inside his palm. He repeats the action, pushes the coin through once more, waves the wand, and this time, the coin completely vanishes. He then makes the final coin disappear and explains that all 4 coins have arrived not just inside the cylinder, but directly under the cork. This rules out the possibility that the coins were simply dropped into the cylinder from above. For the final sequence, Eric says he'll perform the entire process in reverse. He places the cork into his left hand, spins the wand, and suddenly produces a coin. One by one, he produces the remaining 3 coins, ending the routine with all 4 appearing seemingly out of nowhere. So, how did he do it? Here is the secret. In the beginning, when Eric places the coins one by one onto the table, one of them, this specific coin here, is a shell, while the remaining 3 are normal. If you are not familiar with a coin shell, this is what it looks like. For the first coin vanish, he places the shell over the coin beside it and sets the pair on the table. At this point, the shell is covering a single coin. The remaining 2 coins are normal, and he fakes the gesture of holding something. For the second vanish, it becomes even more clever, because he uses the same shell again, but this time it acts as a substitute. When he picks up the first coin from the left, he actually finger palms it. Then, as he places the second coin on top of the third coin on the table, he separates the shell from the coin, creating the illusion that all 3 coins are still on the table, even though 1 coin is now inside the shell and 1 is in his right hand. As he squares the coins, the shell and coin silently rejoin. He then places the normal coin on the table first, followed by the paired shell and coin, leaving his hand completely empty. Now remember, he still has a normal coin, finger-palmed in his right hand. He then performs a move that is actually pointless in terms of the method, but it exists purely to fool Penn and Teller. Here's why. The coin he picks up from the table is a normal coin, and while attempting to take it from his left hand with his right, he deliberately performs a visible switch. You can clearly see the switch on camera, and it is done intentionally so Teller notices it. This pushes them in the wrong direction regarding the actual method, essentially throwing them off track with a switch that accomplishes nothing. At this point, with 1 coin already finger-palmed in his left hand, he simply transfers the coin in his right hand into the finger palm position, twisting his left hand to reveal the coin that was already there. As he tries to pick that coin up, he fakes a second move, making it look like he is dropping the finger-palmed coin from his right hand into his left. In reality, this is just another fake action, and he pushes the second normal coin into finger palm as well. By the end of this sequence, he is holding 2 coins, finger-palmed, in his right hand. To vanish the third coin, which is the paired shell and coin sitting on the table, he pushes it into finger palm alongside the other 2, now holding 3 coins in finger palm. This explains why the transfer to his left hand is not very clean, as he does not want to risk dropping any of the coins. He tightly pinches them with his right hand, carefully transfers them to his left, and then fakes the action of passing them back to his right hand, while all 3 coins, along with the shell, remain finger-palmed in his left hand. You might be wondering why I have not yet explained the cylinder sleight of hand trick used in this routine. I avoided it earlier to keep the flow of the explanation intact, but I will address it now. The cylinder contains, from the very beginning, a stacked coin shell. This is a hollow gimmick, and inside that hollow space is where 1 of the 2 corks is hidden during the routine. The second cork sits directly on top of the stacked coin shell. The shell is not magnetically attached to the cylinder at all. The cylinder itself is made of leather and is flexible. At the beginning, all he does is pinch the shell and lift it up, which removes the cork resting on top of the shell and separates the cylinder, revealing what appears to be an ordinary stack of coins, along with the cork. In order to prove there is nothing inside the cylinder, he picks up the stacked coin shell, places it on the first cork, then places his thumb over the top of the cylinder and allows only the second cork, which is sitting on top of the coin stack shell, to fall out. The cork and the shell remain finger-palmed in his left hand, which you can catch in a single frame as he sticks the wand through the cylinder. Now, going back to the moment when he had all the coins finger-palmed in his left hand, all he did was tip the cylinder over to reveal the stacked coin shell, which contained one cork inside it, while the second cork was sitting on top. He then picked up the second cork and performed a false transfer. During the misdirection, when he says, "Did I say coins?" he secretly ditches the cork behind the table.
Did I say coins? The coins.
After that, he produces the 4 coins one by one. For the first coin he produces, he places it into finger palm in his right hand. He then produces the paired coin with the shell on top and places it on the table, followed by producing the remaining 2 normal coins. While placing one of those coins on the table, he finger palms the other and separates the shell from the bottom coin, setting the coins in a very similar configuration to earlier. He then produces the 4th normal coin, reaches toward the cylinder and picks up the stacked coin shell, revealing the first cork. He performs a slightly modified sleight of hand, where the cork is positioned vertically right beside the coin stack. And when he tilts his hand, he releases that same cork, so it passes through the gap between the coin stack and the cylinder, popping out visibly. You can even catch a glimpse of the hollow cylinder of the coin stack shell at this moment. He continues holding everything in his left hand and ends the act. Behind this mask, only the truth remains till we meet again.